All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. My name is Melissa McGarvey. I'm an ambassador with the ViSalus Body by Vi Challenge, now better known as the Project 10 Challenge. And I'm hosting this evening. The title of this hangout is Get in the Game, How to Restart Your Vi Business When You're Not Sure Where to Start. And so, I thought it was important to have this event. I've been getting reached out to by a lot of team members of both my own and other people where, life has maybe taken you a different direction. Maybe you've been a little less active with your business, or maybe you never even really got launched in your business when you got started. And you're seeing the excitement, you're feeling the Project 10, maybe you've even had a good result on the challenge yourself. And for some reason, you're just not really sure what step to take next in your business. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. Everybody goes through that at varying times in their business, and what I'll tell you is the more inactive you are, the more action seems like a really big deal. And so it's easy to get shut down by fear. It's easy to get lost in the details and not sure really what to do. So the goal of tonight is to give you a very simple plan on how you get back in the game with your business. When you joined the challenge, you, I'm sure, had some sort of a health or fitness goal, but as a promoter, you also had some sort of a business goal. Maybe that was to, change something about your finances currently, or maybe to be building towards some sort of a financial future. And so the first part of this hangout, I'm going to share with you a little bit about what's going on with the Project 10 Challenge right now, what's going on with ViSalus as a company, and what you're really stepping back into through your business investment. And then we're going to take a very short journey together, which will give you action steps that you can put into place either as soon as you get off of this hangout or the first thing when you get out of bed in the morning and start getting your business back. And so thank you for your time this evening. I appreciate the opportunity to share with you all that I've learned, especially recently. So I want to share with you a little bit about business. A lot of times home-based business, this is the first time someone's had an opportunity to be in business for themselves. And so sometimes what we take for granted as basics in business don't ever get relayed to you as a promoter because sometimes we assume you already know it or that you see it. And so something was outlined to me last week. I had a chance to meet with the founders and some of the top leadership in ViSalus, and we huddled together and went over kind of the 5-year vision for ViSalus and where we're headed. And from the minute I saw the Body by Vi Challenge, I knew that this was something really exceptional. This company just has a lot of really great gifts, and every time that we meet and go to an event, I see how they're growing into an even greater potential than we ever saw. But I want to take a minute and explain to you something about timing and the business cycle. And so I'm going to get my whiteboard together here, and I want to explain something to you. So I'm going to draw, so you can see. Okay, so as you see here, I have almost like 3 little hills, and those represent a life cycle of a business. And so this also occurs in traditional business. So our business is no different as far as that goes. So these are life cycles of a business. So as this relates to ViSalus, the first cycle was the ViPack. And some of you, depending on how long you've been in the company, may or may not know that originally ViSalus, that's all we had was the ViPack in a jar, and that was their lone product. And founding promoters like Tony and Rhonda Lucero, they were hitting the pavement with jars of ViPack, and that's how they were making their living. And so I look at that, and they had a very good business culture. So culture was good, but the business model, not so much. So model, we'll just put a negative. And the reason for that is because when the economy started to go down, so did their business. Very, very receptive to the economy. So model not so great, but they picked it up on the fact that they had a good culture. Okay, so that started to go. Then a reinvention happened of the company, and we had the 90-day challenge. Many of you on this hangout were here for that time, and that had a momentous uprising, and then it stabilized out, and then fall, and then we have a new reinvention. During this time, the model was exceedingly better, so much so that ViSalus saw double-digit growth for a period of time that most companies have never seen and will never see in their corporate lifetime. And so the model was exceptional. The culture was I'm going to put a plus slash minus. It wasn't bad, but it definitely left a lot to be desired. And so now we are sitting right here on the Project 10 Challenge. So we have reinvented. We have a new life cycle. We're sitting right at the foot of the hill. And what we've discovered is our model is, I'm going to give it 2 pluses because our model is amazing and the numbers are showing it. And the culture, instead of a plus minus, I'm going to put a plus slash question mark. And the reason I'm going to do that is because we are building our culture from the ground up, but we're not waiting until here or here to address it. We're doing it right here. And so when you see things like the fact that John C. Maxwell is going to be spending time exclusively with ViSalus for the next year to build and develop leaders, when you start to see that people are in this to build a long sustainable business, that it's a family-friendly business, and that these products will continue to sustain the health of people, we're not only getting people healthy, but it's food, which means that we can help so many things in the world as we push globally. We have an amazing model and now an amazing culture. And so our potential to grow with a Project 10 is better than it's ever been. So if you want to think that you saw the best days here, it's statistically not true. Already, where we're starting with the Project 10 Challenge is putting this model to shame. So I want to show you that because I want to show you the value of where we're headed. And so it's important in business. It's very rare that you look around at where you are today in business and that that's an accurate picture. You always need to look at where you've been, which we've done, but you also need to see where we're going because this is what the end is in mind. This is where we're headed, and that's where we need to be focused on. So we're not looking here, we're looking here, and tonight's going to help you get on track to capitalize on the fact that we're sitting right here. Okay? So with that, another great advantage to ViSalus is that we started in the United States and we're just now going global. I'm sure you've seen on social media, you've heard through other promoters, maybe your teams, you know, we've opened in the UK, Germany, and Austria. They just had their launch. And so we're going global. The world is a big, big place and we've yet to get there to everywhere, but we're just starting it, and it's very rare for a company to start in the United States and then to push globally. So I want you to just see the value of that. The value of that is that you are the first to the table. You are a founding promoter of the Project 10 Challenge, and so it's important to know your positioning in a business like this, because to be a founding promoter that's going to build globally, many of you have no idea what your team will even look like in 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And it's important to keep that vision in mind because you're only one new promoter away from something totally different in your business. So once again, I encourage you to not look at today, but to look at the vision and the long-term future. And congratulations for making such an amazing decision in ViSalus, because we are headed to an absolute great future together. And so I'm so excited that you're here and that you've made this decision for you and your family, because it's absolutely going to change your life if you let it. So with that, guys, I just wanted you to have those few little things, and now we're going to get to business and get to work. So I'm going to move my little whiteboard over here. My office is less than impressive, but we'll go with it. Okay, so the first step is to get on your challenge. And I'm sure that you've heard this before, but I want to speak a little bit more to that. It's one thing to just be having a kit delivered to your house every month. It's another thing to be drinking your shake, eating your crunch every day. But when I mean that you're on your challenge, are you on your challenge? What I mean by that is, are you chasing your results? Are you tracking your results? Or are you just drinking a shake like, yeah, I'm on the challenge? Because I tell you, people in your life, they know. They know when you've got energy and positivity and you're excited about what you're doing. And they also know when you're just going through the motions. And unfortunately, because we as humans are such energetic beings and we can get that about each other without even saying the words or being around it too much, unfortunately that trickles down into your business. So think about this. As a promoter of the challenge, is it easier to talk about the challenge if you're super pumped and excited about it, or if you're just going through the motions? So one of the top tips for talking to people about your challenge is to just be genuinely jacked up about it. I want you to be excited about your challenge. And if you are not excited about your challenge, you need to pick a goal and get passionate, because you have the opportunity to pick a weight goal, pick a fitness goal. With the challenges you see in our community, people do some crazy things on the challenge, and you need to get in the game with your challenge before you get in the game with anything else, because I guarantee you your actions will speak for themselves. And when you're out and about, if you can't stop talking about what you're passionate about, that means you're going to talk about the challenge, and that's going to be very attractive to people. So make sure you're on your challenge, but also make sure you understand the new messaging. Before, it was the 90-day challenge. Now it's the Project 10 challenge. So here's how this works. We haven't completely abandoned the 90-day challenge. However, when someone joins the challenge, it is a Project 10 challenge until there's no more Project 10s to lose or to build. So for example, if I joined the challenge and I needed to lose 50 pounds, I would do Project 10 number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and then I might get to that point and be like, hey, I want to build some muscle. I'm going to do a build it. Then I'm going to build a Project 10, and at that point I may be like, okay, I'm good. I've reached my goal weight. I've done everything I want to do with the challenge. Then is where the 90-day challenge comes in, and then you pick a 90-day goal. Maybe it's to run a 5K, maybe it's to do a fitness competition, maybe it's just to maintain your weight loss for 90 days, to give your body a chance to assimilate to the brand new body that you have. You know, maybe it looks all different ways, but that's where the 90-day challenge comes in. So when we are first talking to someone, based on what I've told you, does it make sense to bring up the 90-day challenge? No. And also, you know, for someone who's got a big weight loss goal, that can feel very overwhelming. That's why Project 10 is such a sticky marketing message. And by sticky, I mean it sticks in people's heads. It attracts them. They want to be part of it because anyone can focus on the first 10 pounds. So make sure that you're starting with Project 10 and that the 90-day challenge is more of a follow-up challenge and not the initial thing you're launching with, or you're missing the magic of this marketing message. Second of all, be sure that if you are active on social media, that you're doing things that are actively productive for your business. And what I mean by that is just going around and liking and commenting. That's okay, but you need to post about your challenge, because it's amazing how when you stop posting, people don't think you're doing it anymore. They forget all about it. There was a period of time where I was like, maybe I'm being a little too aggressive with my challenge marketing, and I backed off from it. People were actually messaging me going, are you still doing the challenge? They like to see the reassuring effects that I'm on it. People love the positive posts. They love to see someone improving their life. So let them into that process. When you're doing that, you know, be sure to share your victories. And your victories don't always have to be weight. They can be what we call an NSV, which is a non-scale victory. Make sure you're sharing those. Sometimes those are the most relatable victories as someone on your newsfeed or in your friends list would relate to. Is a non-scale victory like, hey, my wedding ring fits now, or hey, I got into a pair of pants I haven't worn since high school, or hey, you know, for the first time I went out in a little black dress and I felt great. You know, for guys, hey, I wore a whole new style of shirt and I felt good. You know, these are things that people relate to because we all go through it. And so make sure that you're sharing all of your victories, even the ones that seem small. They're big to somebody who's struggling with that. Also, don't be afraid to share your struggles. And as an aside to that, if you're going to share your struggles, be sure that you end it on a positive note. For example, if I was struggling, for example, I went on vacation. I gained a little weight on vacation because I love the food down there. So I recognized that when I got home. I said, hey, I came home from vacation. I was a little fluffy, but that's okay because I'm starting my challenge today and I'm super excited about it. And so I shared my struggle. But then I got right back on track with something that's hopeful and encouraging, which is, hey, but I'm taking action and doing something about it. So make sure that if you share a struggle, it isn't just like, wah, 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 you know, because people have enough negativity in their life, we know this. And so be the source of positive, be the source of inspiration, and show someone that even if someone's got a struggle right now, that they can choose to take control of it, do something to help themselves, and end that on a positive note. So be that source of inspiration for somebody. Lastly, share inspiring stories. Until you have your own story, share other people's. The greatest thing about our shareable site, our ViResults, even the daily ViSalus blog, is it's all done right there, ready to just click share to your community. What's so powerful about sharing other people's stories is it allows the people that you respond to see themselves in that person. So, for example, you know, if you show a child, there could be a parent of a child or a child who sees that and sees themselves in that picture, and they see what's happened and see what's possible for them, it gives them the courage that maybe this transformation thing could be for them too. You know, if they see an older woman, I know sometimes the people I connect with the most are the people who had the exact amount of weight to lose on the challenge that I did, or that my before picture and my before weight was exactly where they're at right now because they saw themselves in my transformation. And so be sure that you're posting all different types of people. Maybe it's women, maybe it's men, maybe it's older, maybe it's younger, maybe it's kids, you know, maybe it's, you know, certain professions, military, nurses, people who have stories, and make sure you're connecting all across the board, because as soon as someone can see themselves in that transformation, you've got that emotional pull to reach out and feel like they've got a chance to do it for themselves. So be sure you're sharing stories, and don't ever be afraid to share stories often, and just know that you're inspiring people. The last piece about getting on your challenge is shooting your I Want It video. You might be saying, oh, that's so basic. Everyone's doing an I Want It video. No, they're not. Would you be surprised to know that less than half of our promoters have actually submitted their I Want It video? What if I told you that there was one thing you could do tonight for your business that would increase your retention, increase your income, increase referrals to your product, and increase your results? Would you be interested to know what I had to say? It's the I Want It video. So if you have not yet shot your I Want It video for Project 10, do so before you go to bed tonight. Do yourself a favor. Second of all, by doing the I Want It video, you have a chance to reap from the Project 10 pool, which is one of the ways that we get paid now. All you have to do is have an I Want It video on file, and you get to participate in that pool. So to not have it on file, you've already given yourself a pay cut without ever leaving the gate. So make sure that the I Want It video is on file. Wouldn't hurt to go ahead and call your active promoters, and if they haven't gotten theirs on file, offer to shoot it for them, offer to shoot it with them, whatever it takes to get it on file, but take their participation in their pools, their ability to get paid into your hands, take some responsibility for it, and get everyone on your team's I Want It videos in the system, because I guarantee that alone will have a great effect on your business. Item number 2. Is GST, but not just GST. GST is the Getting Started training, but I mean do it with intent. And I mean do it with so much intent that maybe it takes you a couple of days to do it. The video itself is only about 20 minutes. It's very easy to watch and be like, yeah, I got it. But what I tell you is every time I get back with a promoter and we start going through the actual steps of GST, they either don't know them, they're uncomfortable with them, or they're terrified of them. All of those are okay, but until you get through the GST process, the only way you get over fear is by acting through it. So until you do it with intention, your business will never be where it should be. And so I want to make sure that you're doing GST with intent. So when it tells you to stop the video, stop the video. You know, what's great about our Getting Started training now is that it allows you to Facebook and text people as an icebreaker for the challenge. We have fun little pictures on ichallengeyou.vi.com that allows you to make a funny picture and say, I challenge you, and send it to people. And it's great because if it's someone that you'd be very uncomfortable calling or starting that conversation, it's an icebreaker. And then you can pull them onto the phone and be like, hey, I know that was a funny picture, but seriously, I've been challenged to lose 10 pounds. I am looking for people to do it with me. We are going to help local kids. You know, you got to check this out. And get excited and share it with them. But that gives you the icebreaker, the in. And so I love that our Getting Started training honors the fact that a lot of our society now, we work with our thumbs, we communicate with our fingers, and that's okay. You still want to bring it onto the phone, but that's a great icebreaker and a place to start. Phone will always give you your best results. Those iChallenge videos are awesome. So, you know, how do you introduce the challenge to people? Well, for people that you would call or text or Facebook, you know, simply send them your I Challenge You video, which the Getting Started training gives you a script to do. And it's literally just, I've been challenged to lose 10 pounds, and now I'm challenging you to do it with me. Shoot the video, send it to them, and that starts the conversation. From there, they should look at your 51-second video. Your 51-second video is found on the landing page of your site, which is your login name.bodybyvi.com. Also, if you have Vinet Mobile, you can go into the upper left-hand corner, looks like lines. You click that menu, and there's videos, and you can actually download it to your phone. So then you can just have it in your photo gallery. And so if you were out and about and saw someone and wanted to show them the video, instead of dialing up your website, you could just click play on your phone and say, here, watch this. This tells you about what I'm doing. 51 seconds, everyone's got 51 seconds. After the 51-second video, I highly recommend putting them on a three-way call. And here's another place where people get hung up. I have people who have been in the business for 3 years who have no idea how to do a three-way call. They either have not taken the time to figure it out, or they are terrified of their telephone. So it's time. Make a pact to yourself. We've got a few days left till the end of the month. Make sure that by the time this month closes, you know how to perform a three-way call on your phone, because I guarantee you one of the fastest ways to grow your business is to do a three-way call. So the people who do the most three-way calls win. If you knew that doing three-way calls would give you everything you wanted for your financial future, would you do it? I believe you would. So make sure that you figure out your three-way calls. After the three-way call, that person's going to just share with them a story about what they're interested in. Maybe the person you talk to wants to lose 20 pounds. Maybe they want to get a new car. Maybe they want financial, freedom. Maybe they just want to get fit. Have them share a story and then tell them you got to get to a challenge party. And at that point, then they pass the call back to you and you invite them to your challenge party. But I tell you what, it is a powerful connection to have someone else connect them with a result that they want on this exact product, and then build up the value of the party that you're about to invite them to. It does everything for attendance. So make sure you're running that play and pulling people in for three-way calls to share their story, connect with your prospect, and build the value of your party, okay? After that, then you have your party, which we'll go into. But, one more thing on the power of a three-way call. People underestimate it. I get it. It feels like you should have clout with the people that are closest to you. They should respect your opinion. They know you went to so-and-so school. They know that you're expert in this. They know you, right? But if anyone on this call tonight's ever been married, has a significant other, or is close at all to your family, then you've probably had the experience of saying something that seems to have gone in one ear, out the other, and yet the minute someone else says it, they hear it. They get it. That is the power of a three-way call, my friends. Sometimes the people that are closest to us need to hear it from us the least, not the most. And so that's why you bring on a perfect stranger to share their story. They will understand that that person's neutral. They'll connect with them. They'll be open, fully open to what they have to say. And that is your secret weapon right there. So three-way calls. The third thing is Rockstar Challenger. Rockstar Challenger will be new to some of you who are not current on our marketing message. And Rockstar Challenger basically is every time that you challenge 150 people, you put that on a piece of paper, you submit it to the company, you get a t-shirt that says I challenge you, so you get some free Vi gear and special perks. But more importantly, most importantly, going Rockstar Challenger is the exact activity we do to go Rising Star, to get our team to Rising Star, to build regional directors, to build national directors, to build presidentials, ambassadors, and beyond. Rockstar Challenger is what we do promoting the challenge. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips of what I've seen. If you need the Rockstar Challenger form, just go to rockstar.vi.com, and there's a downloadable form you can print out and write people's names and numbers so you've got it to turn into the company. And it's also a great list for your own follow-up. So some statistics on Rockstar. A Rockstar Challenger earns 8 times more income in this business. So someone who's gone Rockstar earns 8 times more money in their business than someone who did not. A Rockstar Challenger has 6 times higher PQV, which is personal volume. 6 times. They also are 5 times more likely to have their 3 for free. So if you have promoters on your team that are struggling with their 3 for free, do you think going Rockstar Challenger would be a great first step to start if they've got 5 times more of a chance to get their 3 for free? Yes. So the question I would say I would get from this particular portion most from my team or people that I know in the business is that once you go through your 150, how do you find more people to talk to? Well, the great thing about Rockstar Challenger and our message now is it is absolutely designed to talk to anybody. So, for example, if you're at the store or at the bank and someone's like, how are you today? That's a pretty common customer service question to get asked. I would say something like, man, I am crushing my challenge. Like today, I'm down 4 pounds in 2 days on the transformation kit. I told some people about that because I'm pumped. It's awesome. 4 pounds in 2 days by getting my nutrition on track. I felt awesome. And by the way, I'm going to go train for a marathon. I'm doing all this stuff. This challenge is crazy. And so people are excited. You can bring it up so many ways. If it's someone you've got a relationship with, just simply be like, dude, I challenge you. I challenge you. I'm going to do this. I challenge you to lose 10 pounds with me. I challenge you to lose 10 pounds first. I challenge you to build it, and you can get that with your friends. You can challenge groups of people. I know somebody who had a group of guys that he played soccer with, and he challenged them all at the same time and said, hey, you guys, I'm challenging you to do the Project 10 challenge with me and lose 10 pounds. And it was silent. And then all of a sudden, Bob said he was in. So he texted the other guys and said, oh, Bob's in. And then Sam came on board. And so he texted the other two and was like, Sam's in, Bob's in. Well, guess what? Then they all were in because they're like, well, if they're all going to do it, then that could be fun. And it gives social proof that people are participating. That's really all people want to do, is see that people are doing it and that it will work for them. So definitely use Rockstar Challenger. You can go Rockstar Challenger as many times as you want to and as quickly as you want to. It just depends on who you're willing to talk to. So the one thing I would say about Rockstar is if you want to increase the speed of the growth of your business, we have the amazing ability in network marketing to compress time. And what I mean by compressing time is when I was a massage therapist, if I wanted to make more money, I had to be in a room with a client for more hours. There was really not too many ways I could make more money other than spending more time in my profession to earn that money. But in network marketing, we compress time, which means not only do we get paid over and over again for work that we did once, but we can put a great body of work into a very small amount of time and get exponential results. That would have never happened in my massage business. Every time I had an hour, I got a certain amount of money. It was never like work really hard for 2 days and see huge growth in my business. That would never happen. So we have an amazing ability. So a couple of stories within our community of people who compress time by going Rockstar. The first one that comes to mind is Danielle Satani, and she had no prior network marketing experience at all, and she challenged 250 people in less than 3 months. So in her first 90 days in the business, she got busy and went Rockstar almost twice. She has over 100 personal customers from that effort, and she just achieved the rank of national director. So for her, going Rockstar paid off extremely well, and she compressed time by doing it very quickly. Lindsay Harm is another one that comes to mind. She achieved the rank of national director as well. When they were rallying at the end of the month to get them over the line, she went Rockstar, I believe, in like 24 hours and pushed an amazing amount of volume through her business by changing a lot of lives in a short amount of time. So make sure that going Rockstar is what you do. If you look at your schedule tomorrow and you're like, I've got 2 hours to work on my business, what do I do? Print out the Rockstar Challenger form and start going Rockstar. That's exactly what we do. That is our daily activity in the business. So no matter what you know from your ViSalus history, no matter what Billy Bob Joe told you that you're supposed to be doing today, just know that the very heart and core of what we do is Rockstar Challenger. So if you ever don't know what to do and where to turn, just keep that Rockstar Challenger form right next to your laptop. Keep it right onto your wall and make sure that that is your core activity, because that is what we are doing and people are winning doing it. Step number 4. Challenge party. Ooh, heard that before, right? Challenge party? Well, let me tell you this. There's a difference of having a challenge party, which is putting an event on Facebook and spam inviting, 500 people and sitting at your home and having no one show up and being deflated. I see that done a lot. It's okay. We've all been there. I've done that before. It's what happens. What I'm asking you to do is kind of like with the Getting Started training. When you have a challenge party, commit. And what I mean to commit is when you set that date, that challenge party is happening. What that means is all of your activity now goes to promoting your party, filling your party, inviting people, confirming, and getting people to your party. It's all about your party, and when you commit, that means failure is not an option. And one of the great ways you can light a fire under yourself to make sure that you are truly committed to filling that party is to give yourself a little bit of accountability. And what I mean by that is I suggest that you schedule an upline leader that you are terrified to disappoint to close your party. Most upline leaders will be happy to Google Hangout, FaceTime, Skype, try to get their face in the room of your challenge party. But if you have someone scheduled to close your challenge party that you don't want to disappoint, you're going to be much more likely to put people in that party and work hard. So, you know, the saying goes, sometimes people won't work as hard for themselves as they will for other people. Create a person to work hard for. That's the best way I can think to commit and go for it. So I would say if you have a little trouble getting committed to your parties, invite that upline leader, set a date, invite them, and then commit and know that you're going to have a room of people for that party. The last thing is fortune is in the follow-up, and I just F/U for follow-up. And the fortune is in the follow-up. That's also a very cliche term. We hear it all of the time. So it's very easy to gloss it over and be like, blah, 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 fortune's in the follow-up. However, I interviewed one of the top producers in our company. He went from enrolling about 50 people his first 2 years in the business to actually enrolling 50 people in 1 month in his business. He is a top producing ambassador. He has top producing ambassadors in his team. They are one of the fastest moving teams in this company, and he continues to produce over and over again great results in his business and duplicate it down to his team. He is an absolute success story, and I had an opportunity to interview him. And I asked him, I said, what is a tip that you have, what's working for you that I could pass to my team, that I could share with them that maybe we're not thinking of? What are we missing? And he said, it's the follow-up. He said, I follow up with people. So he said, let's say I met you in a grocery store and I challenged you, and you take a look at the 51-second video. Maybe you don't even get through the whole video. Maybe you're just like, hey, no, this is not for me. Then I immediately say, I totally get that. Do you mind if I check back with you in 60 days and let you know how the challenge is working for me? And he said, even if they really don't want to hear from you in 60 days, most people will agree to that just to end the conversation. And we know that's true. People will do awkward things just to end the conversation. So he actually puts them in his calendar for 60 days from them, and their phone number, and maybe a little tidbit if they actually were interested, you know, maybe something they were interested in. And every 60 days for the rest of their life, for the rest of his life until they join, he follows up with them. And that's where I think we miss it. I don't know about you guys, not everyone has very good follow-up, but for people who do have good follow-up, I have decent follow-up. Even so, people eventually fall off my follow-up. Maybe I get denied 12 times or something from that person, and I'm thinking, you know what, they're never going to be interested, and I just never follow up with them again. That's crazy, and we know that's crazy because by the day, people's timing is changing with their health, their bodies, their weight, their finances, their jobs. Every day, our lives are in a very delicate flux. You have no idea what timing you're going to walk back into that person's life in 60 days. And if you could offer that helping hand up right when they need it, isn't that what we're here for? So be sure that you're doing that. I think that's an amazing tip. And so when he calls them back in 60 days, and I'm reading this because I want you to have the script from the top producer, I'm not going to ad-lib at all, but he would say, I know we talked 60 days ago. This is what's happened with the challenge. And then if he knows that there was something they were looking at, like weight loss or financial, then he'll touch on that piece that's happened for them in the last 60 days. And then he would say, are you in a good place now to take a look at it again? If it's no, it reverts right back up to the first conversation, which is, I get it. Do you mind if I check back with you in 60 days and let you know how the challenge is working for me? And if it's yes, then he goes ahead and takes them through the next process, which is three-way call and a party. So I believe that that's a piece that we're all missing, myself included. And to take it from a top producer, I think that's excellent advice. So make sure that you really understand why the fortune's in the follow-up. It isn't necessarily that you just made the call. It's that you keep touch pointing in their life and checking their timing, because that's always what it is. There's some additional tips and resources I want to leave you with. before I send you on your way back out into the world of your business. The first one is challenge parties. Challenge parties, you know, we have Crunch now, we have a lot of products. There's a lot of things that you could do at a party now. So a party may look very differently to you now than it did when you got started. So I recommend going to the website party.vi.com and reviewing how they suggest you do a party, because our model, like we talked about, is amazing, but you have to make sure you're doing the model, because if you're not doing the model, results may vary, and we don't want that. If this is what's guaranteed, if we stick with the model, then we want the model. So make sure that party.vi.com, you're looking at that. Don't be afraid to call into your old customers and promoters. Just like how your prospects' timing might change every 60 days, your old promoters and customers who maybe aren't active or involved with the challenge right now, their timing may have changed too. Just this week, I called a couple of old customers, and they both said, word for word, I kid you not, I've been meaning to call you. And they both got back on the challenge. So make sure that you're reaching out to people, if nothing else, just to say hello, how are they doing? You know, this is what's new with the challenge, haven't seen you in a while. You could invite them to a party, or you could just say hello and, you know, see how they're doing with everything. If they're not interested, touch back with them in 60 days and see how they're doing. Another thing is, and this will increase your customer retention. Have you ever called a customer and they've been on the challenge and they're using the product, but they have asked you to either hold or cancel or suspend their auto ship because they have a closet full of shake mix? Yes, we all have had that conversation. How do you fix that problem? How you fix that problem is you introduce them to the fuel kit. And the fuel kit will keep people on the challenge because the cereal is much more consumable. So, you know, if they have a lifestyle where a shake works once a day, but a shake just isn't going to work this afternoon or evening, a bag of Crunch would work. And so not only does it help them stick to their challenge as they're intended to, but also from a business standpoint, they would be upgrading from a $49 or a $99 kit to a $149 kit. What does that do for your business? So I view the fuel kit as the ultimate win-win. Now, obviously, if someone wants to come in on a transformation, a fit kit, a core kit, then get them in where they fit in. But for a balance or a shape kit, that's an easy conversation, guys. If they've got shake left over in their cupboard, they need to be on Crunch and get on their challenge full force so that they can see their full results. So make sure that you're reaching out to people who are on balance and shape kits and having the conversation about the fuel kit. Another tip is to not be business-centered. It's very easy to get caught up on the business. You are a business promoter. You are a Project 10 promoter. You are not just in it for the challenge. You see the financial benefit of being part of a home-based business. You get the freedom. You get it. You're an entrepreneur. But not everybody is. In fact, a very small percentage of people are. And so when your message is business, 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 cars and money, let's go, you're missing the majority of people. About 3% of society want to be self-employed or have that entrepreneurial mindset. And that means that 97% aren't even open to the business idea. So let's say you're pitching to that 3%. A very small portion of that 3% is going to want to be part of your business specifically, which is health and wellness, which is weight loss, which is, you know, they're going to look at this video and it ticks with them, you know. So of the 3% that are in home-based business, you can't figure that all 3% want to be part of this particular business, and that's why there's hundreds of network marketing companies. And so are you going to promote to 0.5% of the world, or are you going to promote to 97% of the world? And knowing the obesity statistics like we do, at least 7 out of 10 people where we live have a need for the challenge. Whether they want it or not, the need is starting to come into play as well. So are you better off to promote the challenge or promote the business? So our video, our Project 10 video, our overview, what we play at parties, that addresses both sides. It lets people know there's another picture. Another thing that I found is when I'm speaking strictly about the challenge, the people who are interested in the business understand it's a business, and they start to ask me more questions like, is there a home-based business attached to this? Is this network marketing? Is this one of those things where you can refer people and have teams? I get those questions all the time from influential business people where all I ever talked about was the challenge. So just rest assured that entrepreneurial people will sniff it out. When they actually see the overview or get to a party, they'll see the whole picture anyway, but don't scare them off from the initial conversation by pitching the business, because you are alienating 97% of your potential in your business. And one of the things that people are seeing right now in this business is some of the most fast-moving promoters and rank promotions things are coming from people who were once customers. They got excited about the challenge, they fell in love with the product, they had a result, and they converted to promoter. So don't miss the fact that your customers will, in time, some of them will convert to promoter. So get people started the right way, but make sure you're targeting them the right way. The challenge, guys, the challenge is what it's about. I did talk about action beating fear. It's the only known cure that I've ever found to fear. You can listen to tapes, watch books, change your mindset. All of that helps, but nothing will actually get you out of fear until you act. So make a pact with yourself, even if it's as soon as you click off of this hangout tonight, that you do something that is an action in your business that you wouldn't have taken an hour ago. Just something. Maybe you're going to send the I challenge you picture to somebody. Maybe you're going to make a call. You're going to set a party date and commit and go ahead and schedule that upline you're scared of to attend or close your party. Go ahead and take that action step. I guarantee you it'll be great. You're going to feel great. And so another thing I would say is challenge people in groups. If you are terrified to reach out to people, if you tend not to, schedule times where you get together with team members or other promoters or friends where you challenge people together. We call it Rockstar Challenge parties. You can call it whatever you want, but get in groups and do it together. When it's social, it's a lot more fun, and not to mention if you needed a three-way call, you'd have someone right there, which is also very handy. Get an accountability partner. Anybody. I recommend getting an upline that you're scared of, disappointing, or it could be a family member that knows what you're trying to do for your family with this business that you don't want to let down, or maybe your why is your accountability partner. And what I mean by that is maybe your children are your why in this business. Maybe your child could hold you accountable every night, and you could sit down and tell them what you did, what you're going to do in your business and what you did. You can make it simple. But have someone to check into that it matters to you if you did it today or not. So I recommend getting an accountability partner, but just not anybody, somebody that matters and it's going to tug on your heart if you're letting them down. And lastly, in order to stay plugged in, I highly recommend, in fact, no, I demand, if you're going to be in business, you have to show up for your business. And how you do that is getting on your weekly team calls and your vision call. And once again, I mean, we hear these things down the pipeline. If you've been in the business for a while, you're like, yeah, but I'm serious. If you went to work and had a weekly staff meeting and you blew it off every single week, would you expect to know what's going on in your business? Absolutely not, because that's the purpose of a meeting, is to get everybody on the same page. So make sure that you're treating your team call and your vision call like a real meeting that you can't miss, because this is a real business, and until you treat it like a business, you know, so many times people want this business to pay us like a profession, but we treat it like a hobby. How can it ever pay us like a profession if we don't treat it like one? So your team call and your vision call are absolutely what keep you plugged in. They keep you in the know, and make sure that you're taking responsibility for your team being on those calls too. So make sure that you're staying close to the campfire. I hope this hangout has brought you some value tonight. I know that through teaching I've learned some things tonight just by collecting the content to bring to you. Let your upline know if you're struggling. Find some people to be in your corner in this business. We all want to help you. Sometimes we don't know who to help, and it's one thing to say that you want to grow your business, but it's a whole other thing to be able to step out in faith, take that one step into that fear zone, and act through it. All it takes is a small victory in this business. Maybe it's creating someone's weight loss story. Maybe it's creating your own weight loss story. Maybe it's getting someone their first paycheck in this business. Or maybe it's watching people change their financial lives because you dug in and helped them. All you have to do is just look at who's going to be the next story in your business. One small story is a huge victory for someone who's looking to get back in the game of their business. We are in the business of changing lives. Not only will your life change, but you have the ability to impact a world of people who are waiting for your helping hand. So with that, guys, I hope that tonight you decide to suit up, show up, and get in the game of your ViSalus business. Thank you so much for your time and your participation, and you guys have a great night.